Alright, welcome to German class. In this lesson, which is called Ein Tag in Sofies Leben, which means a day in the life of Sophie, or a day in Sophie's life, we're going to be going through, and it's actually right here, so I'm not going to open it twice. We're going to be going through this presentation right here in this TV once it shows up. Alright, so we're going to go through each of these numbered pictures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., etc. And we're going to narrate, or I'm going to narrate, what she's doing in each picture. I'm going to use the present tense, since that's what we've talked about so far. And I'm also going to use a lot of separable prefix verbs. So the purpose of this activity is that you'll get a chance to hear and use new verbs and practice narration in the present verb tense. You will hear and see separable prefix verbs. So here we have the image as a whole, and it says Bildgeschichte, Ein Tag in Sofies Leben. So we have a history in pictures, a picture history is what Bildgeschichte translates to. Tag, you should know from our time vocabulary, is day. Leben is life. So we say, das ist Sophie. Was macht Sophie an einem normalen Tag? So here we're asking, what does Sophie do on a normal day? Was macht Sophie? So let's go through each of these pictures individually. What I need you guys to do is really focus on pronunciation, listening and understanding what I'm saying, and also writing it down and taking notes and being able to do this on your own. You are going to take a quiz in which you are given like a picture or a description, and you have to describe what the person is doing, just like I do here. So your next assignment is to do what I'm doing here, so you really got to be with it. So here are the pictures cut up. We have 11, 11. Wir haben 11 Bilder. Wir haben 11 Bilder. Das ist ein Bild. I'm going to make an effort to speak more German than English in these lessons. Hier haben wir 11 Bilder. Das ist das erste Bild. Das ist Bild Nummer 1. Bild 1. Bild 1 zeigt, Sophie steht 7 Uhr auf. So something I want to get you used to listening to and hearing is the verb zeigen. And the verb zeigen looks like this. Zeigen. So I will say, and that means to show or to demonstrate. So when I say das Bild zeigt, I'm saying the build or the picture shows. And then I'll tell you the text. It shows Sophie gets up at 8 o'clock or at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to say das Bild zeigt. Zeigt is going to come up a lot, and it means shows. Write that down. Sophie steht 7 Uhr auf. So she gets up at 7 o'clock. A lot of you have been asking for this little preposition to mean at 7 o'clock. Uhr means o'clock, 7 means 7, means at. So means at in time phrases. Bild 2. Hier ist Bild 2. Bild 2 zeigt, sie duscht. Also Sophie duscht. Sie duscht. So to duschen is to shower. Bild 3 zeigt, sie frühstückt. This is a verb that means to eat breakfast. Sophie frühstückt. Notice that the subject of almost all of these sentences is the word she, sie, which gives us a very simple T ending on these regular verbs. Sie frühstückt. Das ist Bild 4. Das ist ein roter Rucksack, ein rotes Buch. Sie trägt ein blaues Hemd. Ja. Und dieses Bild, also Bild 4, zeigt, sie packt ihre Bücher ein. Sie packt ihre Bücher ein. So she packs her books. So in this picture, and sorry, I was just minimizing to make sure my slideshow was working. In this picture, we see that she's packing up her books. And notice the separable prefix. The verb, it's einpacken is the separable prefix verb, and we have to split it up, right? We conjugate packen, we have sie packt, we have her books, ihre Bücher. Remember we learned about these words, ihr, possessive adjectives. And then we have ein, which is the prefix that comes at the end of the sentence. Bild 5. Das ist Sophie, sie läuft. Was macht sie? What is she doing? Remember, was macht Sophie an einem normalen Tag? Sie geht zur Uni. Dieses Bild zeigt, sie geht zur Uni. So here we have she goes to university. And zur here means to. And Uni is a short form of Universität. It's a nickname. The Germans call it Uni. So again, sie geht zur Uni. Bild 5 zeigt, sie geht zur Uni. Here's another separable prefix verb, ausfüllen. So you'll see that the aus comes at the end of the sentence as we learned. So das ist Bild 6. Bild 6 zeigt, sie füllt ein Formular aus. Sie füllt ein Formular aus. All right, she fills out paperwork. Now she's going somewhere else. Hier ist Bild 7. Bild 7 zeigt, sie geht zur Post. Sie geht zur Post. So she's going to the post office. Here she's going back home. Nach Hause is an expression that means to go home. It means toward home or to home. So to say I'm going home, you say ich gehe nach Hause, but we're talking about Sophie. So sie geht nach Hause. This is not a prefix, a separable prefix verb. Hier we have Bild 10. Hier haben wir Bild 10. Und da sind jetzt zwei Leute. So we have Sophie and her friend. Here we do deal with a separable prefix verb. The verb is anrufen. We have to separate it though when we use it in a sentence. So Sophie calls her friend, so we're saying sie ruft ihre Freundin an. She calls her friend. I'm going to say that one again. Sie ruft ihre Freundin an. Here they're going out together. So this word zusammen means together. Now we're not using sie meaning she. We're using the same word, but it means they. And our clue there is in the verb, which is why I bolded the verb ending en. So before we had sie ruft, because she, singular, called her friend. So we have the t ending because it's a she. This is a sie meaning she. But now that we have a sie meaning they, the verb has to change to show us that. So it can't be sie geht with a t, it's got to be en, because that's the proper ending for sie, meaning they. It's a separable prefix verb, so once we put our conjugated verb there, we put anything else in between, and then we put the prefix en at the end. Aus. Sie gehen zusammen aus. Now it's your turn. So I am done with my part of the slideshow. For the rest of the slideshow, I will quickly explain what I expect you to do. So you're going to go through the slides and try to narrate them on your own. So for example, it's the exact same slide I started with, number 1, and it was she gets up at 7 o'clock, right? So do you remember how to say that? If you don't, you need to go back and review. The verb is aufstehen, so we have to make sure we separate that prefix auf and conjugate the verb stehen. Sie steht 7 Uhr auf. And I said sie instead of Sophie, but that's all right. So practice by using these images. Every time you click, you'll get the answer, so you can review here. But you should be good to go from here on out. Thanks.